Hey there, this is Angus of Boss Fitness, and I'm super duper excited today to be sharing with you in this live interview an amazing success story, which is one of my coaching clients, Cannella. She's an absolute young powerhouse who it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to coach, and what warms my heart is just the absolute amazing transformation that she's had, but in a way where it hasn't been any sort of form of restriction whatsoever, but rather introducing so much more flexibility than what she's ever been used to in the past, and therefore has been able to literally double, if not triple, her rate of success compared to sort of how she was before we had actually crossed paths. In this actual interview, you're going to learn some amazing things in terms of some of the big game changes that enabled Lily to actually lose, I think it was at least 7 or so kilos and a boatload of centimeters, and actually get her actually leaner than what she was in the past when she had actually done INBA competitions. Yeah, and if you think of something like that, usually that's when people are pretty lean and look pretty good. Through what I coached Lily in and introducing flexibility, more carbs, all this sort of good stuff when it comes to food, it enabled her to really get leaner and love herself so much more than what she was able to achieve in the past. So pay close attention towards some of the key takeaways that Lily's had herself. Hopefully you're going to actually be able to resonate with some of her backstory. So in other words, if you're someone who at the moment upon watching this is kind of feeling lost amongst the big sort of bad world that is nutrition and food, emotional eating, things like that, and kind of find that you're just going through the same motions and not really getting anywhere, then this is going to be for you. So keep watching and I'll see you in the interview just now. Okay, so here we are. I'm joined with the lovely Lily Cannella. Mighty Lily, how you doing today? You all good?
Good, thank
awesome.
you.
Cool. So what we're going to do today, Lily, like our purpose is to break down some of the insight into your awesome journey and the success that you've had through, sort of my coaching. So let's sort of set the scene for everyone. What I'd love for you to do is to sort of share sort of what you were going through before we crossed paths and what your experience was with trying to actually, lose fat yourself. Like give people a bit of an insight into what you went through personally.
So basically I did 2 bodybuilding competitions in 2014. Sort of had that post-comp blues, I suppose, part. And then after that, I just tried to. I was always trying to get back to what I looked like then, and it wasn't working. I was trying to be absolutely super strict.
Yeah.
Ridiculous strict, and then it was just backfiring, and I was binging, I was exercising, ridiculous amounts each day.
Yeah.
And sort of, just not really getting anywhere and sort of going against my body. I was sick a lot. So that's when I found you.
So, in other words, you were able to achieve some, like, we'll say, some pretty good aesthetics, really, in terms of obviously you need to look good for a competition. But I'm sure you'd agree that the means that you went through to actually achieve that were very restrictive, and it pretty much put you into a state where you don't actually have any sort of real balance in relationship with food. Yeah. So obviously, what's been a contributing factor toward the success that you've achieved, sort of now, has been actually restoring that balance in relationship with food. Yeah. So in other words, what we've been able to do with you is get you back to a similar sort of conditioning, but in a way where you've actually been able to eat a lot more and have a lot more variety. Yeah. So why don't you share what's been really, I guess, enjoyable for you from your perspective with sort of getting the same sort of similar results, but in this sort of manner, and what's enabled, I guess, you to be as consistent as you have been without it feeling like it's restrictive and hard anymore like it was, sort of previously.
Oh, by far, the best thing is obviously my relationship with food that's improved so much. I was very, don't eat any junk food, and I would beat myself up about eating junk food, and then I would feel so guilty and go exercise for hours. So the best thing has been my relationship with food and realizing that it's not, obviously everything in moderation, but I've been able to get, as lean as I was at my competitions, but it's been so easy breezy. I haven't even felt like I've been dieting as such.
That's it. And I think what's been really cool for you as well is how often you're eating out, yeah, which is usually something that's kind of off limits, or usually something that's like unheard of when it comes to actually, properly getting lean. We associate, you can't eat that, you have to kind of be that boring person that eats only chicken and salad. Just the other day you got some, I think it was like a wicked steak feed, wasn't it? Which is fantastic, including that social aspect with actually being able to lose body fat. So aside from that, your exercise as well, how do you feel that you've been able to, really just kill it in that area as well? Because as you said, you used to, just go kind of balls to the wall, was the terminology, where you're just hammering it, in coming from a place of being angry at yourself for stuffing up with your eating. Yeah. So how have you found that your relationship with exercise has changed as well? Like, share in that regard.
Oh, much better. Look, I never really hated exercise. Probably towards the end, just before I met you, I was sort of starting to hate it. I was hating the feeling that I thought that I had to exercise, but now I enjoy it. I enjoy the fact that I can go to the gym and don't have to do an hour of cardio after I do my weights. I purely just do cardio because I like to do it. If I want to walk my dog, I do it. It's so much better. I feel the best I've ever felt.
Yeah, that's fantastic, isn't it? Because, like, for those listening, usually within Lily's programming so far, I'm pretty sure 90% of the time I haven't actually prescribed any. I've told her to basically nail certain aspects of weight training and then do cardio on the side for fun, only if she wants to. Yeah, which is usually unheard of as well. We usually think that cardio needs to come, bam, right off the bat, right at the start, and then maybe weight training following, or maybe just only cardio. Like, it's just such a massive spin on things, isn't it? But aside from that, in terms of your relationship just with yourself, it sounds like it's gotten a lot more, positive since how it was before, Lily, which has enabled you to be a heck of a lot more consistent. Yeah. What do you think have been some of the biggest attributors that's enabled you to be as consistent as you have been, if you do some sort of self-reflection?
Oh, seeing the results, 100%. Being able to. I never thought that I would be able to eat what I've been eating, the amount that I've been eating, and training the style of training that I've been training, and being able to see exactly the same result, compared to what I was doing when I was doing my competition prep. I was doing 2 hours of cardio a day, eating ridiculously low calories and just killing myself. So being at the silver lining has been that I can look exactly the same as that. But I feel like I've been on holidays. Like, it's not a diet at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, isn't it? Holidaying all the time. And clearly we can see there that it's a much more sustainable way of doing it, isn't it? Surely it doesn't happen overnight. Like, obviously it takes consistent action, which you've been, all over it like a rash, in terms of just that aspect. But, like, in my opinion, nothing can actually deliver long-term success unless it actually is sustainable. So what we've introduced for you is obviously a focus on beginning with the end in mind. Your end in mind is obviously just a real sort of, lean and mean physique where you're in flow with food, exercise, the works, and loving life. But then in a way we're actually able to maintain it. So I'm sure you'd agree that obviously while we're kicking goals now, it's going to be easy peasy for you to maintain this through what you're learning. Yeah. So, for those that are listening as well, Lily, who may not be in a place where they're being coached by someone or are kind of struggling going at it solo, why don't you, share some insight into why it would be a really wise choice for them to actually reach out for some help, possibly through Boss Fitness, in terms of just the positive experience that you've had yourself. Why should they actually step up towards considering something like this rather than continuing to go at it by themselves?
Oh, just because of obviously not only the support that you give on your own, but the winners page. Even though I've been a little bit slack lately, but it's fantastic to see. You've got the page there. You've got other girls that are going through the same situation as you, or even just different situations, and they can share everything. And also your knowledge is amazing. I've learned so much.
Hats off. Yeah, I'm humbled. Because obviously the purpose behind coaching with anyone is just to make sure that usually anyone, and yourself included as well, people are usually in a place where they have got a very clear reason why they want to change. They've got a strong sort of clear outlook on what it is they want to achieve, but they're usually stuck and struggling with the how in terms of the strategy to actually apply all of that to. So all I've done is just allowed you to be yourself and to still have ownership over your own day-to-day, but just led you in the right direction through supplying that how, so that you're best equipped to really just not feel like a guinea pig, basically. Because let's face it, that doesn't allow you to learn anything, does it? You can get results, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't leave you in an equipped manner, does it? So obviously with you, you've killed it because that has been the focus. And for those of you considering, coaching maybe It obviously is a big step, and this is why, for even with Lily as well, we didn't start coaching straight away just because she came across, past with me. We had an awesome chat together right off the bat, and I'd encourage you to do the same if you're considering. But Lily, thank you so much for your time today. It's been awesome to have some insight into yourself. Thank you so much for sharing. And boom! How awesome was that? The mighty Lily Cannella. I really hope that you had some personal takeaways from my interview with the lady herself, and hopefully what that's done is inspired you to, what if? What if I can actually achieve the same? What if my results can look like that? What if, in other words, opening up your mind to the possibility of how easy fat loss can actually be. So just in a quick summary and highlighting some of the key points for Lily, what you've got to understand is that she's been able to achieve her level of success through flexibility with food, not restriction, okay? She was used to restriction and that got her results, but unfortunately it was unattainable to actually be able to maintain those results in the long run, So we fast forward to now where Lily is, she's in a completely different world and a completely different relationship when it comes to food as a whole, and therefore in terms of her maintaining, she knows that she's never going to be in a place where she's back towards the binge eating, emotional eating form of herself previously, We've also done this in a way where we haven't focused on cardio, but rather focused on weight training and having some progressive overload structure with that. And in doing so, this has enabled her body to continuously be in a state where it is not knowing what's going on and therefore trying to keep up. In terms of Lily, what's also been amazing as well is that she's really just accustomed to the idea of flexibility, So what you're going to be seeing coming through now are some of her food photos that she was actually eating throughout some of our actual journey together, She found that she was getting invited out to events or to social outings and stuff like that, and normally if it was old school Lily, she'd be saying no to these things, but I said, no, embrace them, enjoy. And she was able to work all this food into her current targets and therefore continue to get results, which has been absolutely amazing, because the idea is that when you actually are seeking to transform your body, you should not be in a place where you are seeing it as if you're only going to be doing it for a short-term period of time and then expect that you can just go back towards what you were doing before. Because if this is your mentality, understand that likely you're just going to go back towards these bad habits that you had before, which actually were the ones that cause you to gain weight in the first place. Therefore, you're just going to naturally undo your efforts, and therefore you're going to end up wasting your time. So the idea here is that, just like Lily, what I'm going to be showing you now is some of her before and after photos. She really embraced the idea of building new habits that she would know would form part of her long-term lifestyle, which has led to her success and therefore continuing to kick more goals through our coaching now with focusing on muscle gain. So if in any way, shape or form you've been inspired through what you've just watched, I encourage you to actually step up and take ownership now. I encourage you to, just like Lily, get in contact with myself for an actual chat, because that's exactly what Lily did, and as a result of her stepping up, her life has been changed. I encourage you to get in contact with myself if it was me that shared the video with you, or whoever it was, so that way we can actually have a call together, and that way see if and how we'd actually be a good fit in terms of our coaching through Boss Fitness and your current situation and moving you forward. By the way, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this interview. I hope that it's brought some light and some sense of hope restoration to your life and to your journey. And in the words of Boss Fitness, be real and be the boss. Take care.